Hi everyone, Michael Brown back again. Welcome back to Educator.com's Adobe Photoshop CS6 course. We've wrapped up Camera Raw and now it's time to get started learning the specifics of Photoshop. But before we go right into it, I want to talk to you briefly about file formats. There are several formats. We've already talked somewhat about JPEG and RAW and how they differ. I want to show you the primary formats that you will encounter with Photoshop, what they are, and how they work. So let's get started. Here are the primary, and I say primary, there's a lot more as you pull down. If you go to save this file, for example, under the Save menu, under Format, there is a huge list here you see of formats. But of all these formats, there are only a principal few that we will use 99.9% of the time. So let's talk about most of them. The most commonly used one that you're going to deal with is the .psd, and I want you to see up here in the title bar for this file, which is a Photoshop file. It's file formats educ.psd. That's your suffix that indicates the format. Let's go take a look at some other ones here. Here's a .jpg format right there. Let's see if we have anything else in this particular one. Let's take a look at some others. These are all PSD files here. You notice there's a few JPEGs in there. Here's some TIFFs. .tif is a different format, so you see various different formats used, but they're always the suffix dot whatever the format is. All right, let's cancel out of that. I don't know how we got into the Camera Raw again, but that shows you your various formats. .psd, the native Photoshop format. It supports all layers. It supports all the channels being transparency. When you compress it, you lose absolutely no data whatsoever. It is the #1 format you will be working with your images. No matter what the usage, no matter what the final format that you're going to use it for, whether it be any of these, I highly recommend, and I always save out a PSD file. That means I have all the data, all the layers, all the information, 100%. I can always open that file up and save it as another file. I'll have the original PSD and also have another file. You always want to keep that PSD file, #1. Okay, that takes care of the Photoshop.